What's up, you guys? It's the 4K Lowdown, and my buddy Tim over at Tim Talks Talkies issued a challenge, and that challenge was to come up with your fantasy 4K box set. Whatever criteria you want, you pick 5 movies, make it a 4K box set. So I've been racking my brain trying to figure out what theme I wanted to do. Did I want to do like horror movies, or did I want to do disaster movies or things like that? And I kind of narrowed down my criteria based on, okay, what are my favorite movies and what has not happened, has not come out in 4K. So my theme for you guys is fantasy movies that are based on books that are not Lord of the Rings or Hobbit or Hunger Games or Harry Potter. Not really those. Those all had like 4K releases and stuff like that. These are, one-off fantasy movies based on books that are awesome and some of my favorite movies of all time. And the criteria is based on a book, has not been released on 4K at this point, and is not like extremely, some of them, they're popular. You guys are going to know these movies, but like these are one-offs. Like there was never, they've, done other movies that are like it. They've done some of them have reboots, but some of these are just by themselves and has not, haven't done anything with. And I'm spanning 20 years. I'm going from 1987 to 2007. So there's a good range of dates and movies and stuff like that. So I'm going to start oldest to newest. And we're going to start off with the 1987 movie, The Princess Bride. Criterion has this for the Blu-ray, but there's not a 4K of this. It stars Carrie Elves, Mandy Patinkin, and Robin Wright, who later became Robin Wright Penn. It is, like I said, it's 1987. It's an hour and 38 minutes, and is basically an action adventure comedy that's family friendly. It definitely covers a whole bunch of genres, and I believe, in my opinion, one of the most perfect movies ever made for its time. So this movie had a budget of $15 million, made $31 million in the box office. So basically doubled its money. Not quite good enough, but I think it's made up for that in video sales and stuff. IMDb gave this an 8.0, 436,000 reviews. Rotten Tomatoes critics score 98% with 80 reviews, 94% audience score with 250,000 plus reviews. So guys, this needs a 4K. I'm excited to have this in my fantasy 4K collection. And that kind of goes, I was like, oh, hey, fantasy 4K. I'm going to pick fantasy movies. So it all kind of fits together. So this is based on the book entitled The Princess Bride. The Princess Bride novel was written in 1973 by William Goldman. It kind of goes into the theme. That is the first movie on my list. Okay, number 2 on my list, and there are a lot of incarnations of this movie based on a book of the same title, but I went with a particular one that I have special feelings for, and that is The Three Musketeers. This is the Walt Disney 1993 version, starring Charlie Sheen, Kiefer Sutherland, Rebecca De Mornay, Chris O'Donnell, Oliver Platt, Tim Curry. What a cast. It's amazing. This, like I said, this is from 1993, had a budget of $30 million, made just under $54 million in the box office, and is based on the book entitled The Three Musketeers, which I'm not going to say it in French, but it's by French author Alexandre Dumas, written in 1844. So it's a super old book, but it's, I mean, infamous. Like I said, there have been many incarnations of the Three Musketeers, but this has to be my favorite because of the cast, the comedy, just general enjoyment on my part. So I liked how this was done. I know there are better quality Three Musketeer movies. I mean, in particular, the Errol Flynn ones. But this is my pick. I like this one. It fits with, my life, and absolutely, love this movie. So IMDb gives this particular incarnation of Three Musketeers a 6.4 with 57,000 reviews. Rotten Tomatoes critic score a meager 30%, but with 30 reviews. Audience score 62% with 100,000 plus ratings. I'm more apt to go for that one. I think this is just a fun movie, and it works based on the book. It's something that I did see a Blu-ray out there, but there is no 4K for this. So I will take this in a box set every day and twice on Sunday. Incidentally, just a couple of tidbits about this movie. Kiefer Sutherland and Chris O'Donnell spent 6 weeks training, fencing, and riding horses to do this movie. But Charlie Sheen kind of missed out on it because he was filming Hot Shots Part 2. I thought that was interesting. They've also, they had thoughts of having Robert Downey Jr. cast in here, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and a host of others. Brad Pitt was supposed to be D'Artagnan. And it makes me wonder how this would have changed if it didn't have this cast. But I really like the chemistry between the Three Musketeers, between Charlie Sheen, Kiefer Sutherland, and Oliver Platt. And then with the addition of Chris O'Donnell, really cool. And a special nod to Michael Wincott, who played Richelieu. I can't remember the dude's name, but he was just Rochefort. And then Tim Curry, who played the Cardinal. Really cool stuff. Awesome. This is a classic blockbuster fantasy movie that is worth seeing. So that is my number 2. All right. So far, so good. Let's move on to number 3. My third pick for my fantasy 4K box set was filmed in 1999. It's an hour and 42 minutes, stars Antonio Banderas, and is called The 13th Warrior. It's based on the book The Eaters of the Dead, written by Michael Crichton in 1976. It is the only one in my fantasy box set that the book does not have the same title as the movie. But the book was later changed to match because of the movie. So the book was re-released as The 13th Warrior later on. But its original title, The Eaters of the Dead, is actually what this is based on. As I said, 1999, hour and 42 minutes. Let's see, it had a $125 million budget, but made only $61.7 million in the box office. It's pretty disappointing. So scores that we have, IMDb gives this a 6.6 with 128,000 reviews. Rotten Tomatoes critic score 33% with 89 reviews. Audience score 66% with 100,000 plus reviews. This is another one. I absolutely love this film. You need to watch it for the details, like how Ahmed, who is Antonio Banderas' character, how he learns to speak the Viking language. That was amazing. I love to see that, and I loved all the characters in this. It's a fun movie, and one that only has a DVD release. There's not even a Blu-ray of this. So this needs to have a 4K, needs to happen. And if it's part of this box set, absolutely buy it. Wouldn't even, here's my wallet. So yeah, that is my number 3 film. Let's move on to number 4. Okay, now we're on to number 4. My fourth pick for my fantasy 4K box set of fantasy 4K movies is from 2002. This is another one. There were many incarnations of this film. Not as many as Three Musketeers, but there were some other titles from 1975 and things like that. I chose the one from 2002. It stars Jim Caviezel and Guy Pearce. And it's 2 hours and 11 minutes long, and that is The Count of Monte Cristo. This is also based on the book the same title, The Count of Monte Cristo, written by Alexander Dumas, same guy who wrote Three Musketeers in 1844. And it just so happens that I have the book as well. And the book is still sealed. Chances are I will not open this unless I really feel like reading it again, which I've already read the book before. I said that this movie is from 2002. The book's from 1844. It had a budget of $40 million and made $75.4 million in the box office. So that's not bad. You know, like I said, it stars Jim Caviezel, Guy Pearce, and a young Henry Cavill. If you get in there and take a look at it, which I thought was really neat. I was like, hey, that's Henry Cavill. I remember him. Luis Guzman is also in it. So yeah, this is my number 2 all-time favorite movie. So, and again, there's only been a DVD and a Blu-ray. There's never been a 4K release of this. I would love a 4K. Because the acting with these two guys is amazing. IMDb gave this a 7.7 with 142,000 reviews. Rotten Tomatoes critics score 73% with 143 reviews. Audience score 88% with 100,000 plus reviews. And this is the 4th movie in my 5-movie box set. If you know, you know. This movie is just epic. All right, 4 down, 1 to go. Let's move on to number 5. All right, guys, this is it. Number 5, final movie in my fantasy 4K box set. This movie is from 2007 and coincidentally is 2 hours and 7 minutes long. It stars Claire Danes, Charlie Cox, Michelle Pfeiffer, Robert De Niro, Mark Strong, Ricky Gervais. Just an amazing cast. And it is Stardust. Again, no 4K of this. There really needs to be one. This is based on the book of the same title, Stardust, which was published in 1999 by British writer Neil Gaiman, which he usually wrote like old-timey, like pre-Tolkien English fantasy. This is a little bit different. This fantasy is a little bit more modern, and it's really interesting. Incidentally, Robert De Niro couple of fun facts about this. Robert De Niro was offered the role of Barbossa in Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. He turned down that, and because he felt bad about it, he took this role of Shakespeare in Stardust. Also of note, the role of Shakespeare in the novel doesn't exist. So Robert De Niro's character is strictly for the movie. And I thought that was really interesting. Stardust is from 2007, had a budget of $70 million, made $137 million in the box office. And I did find some video sales, made $26.1 million in video sales. IMDb gave this a 7.6 with 277,000 reviews. Rotten Tomatoes critics score 77%, 197 reviews. Audience score 86% with 250,000 plus reviews. This one's amazing, you guys. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I have the poster right behind me. In fact, I have 3 of the movie posters right behind me. 3 of the 5 on my list, and I just now realized it. Let me look. I have 13th Warrior right behind me. Count of Monte Cristo is right there, and Stardust is right there. Let me just kind of put that over. Look at that. Right there. All 3 movies. So, just goes to show you how much I love those films. But okay, that's it for me. So, let's recap. My 4K fantasy box set is 1987's The Princess Bride, 1993's The Three Musketeers, 1999's The 13th Warrior, 2002's Count of Monte Cristo, and 2007 Stardust. Tim, thank you so much for doing this challenge. This was a lot of fun. I look forward to your next one. I'm happy to participate. You guys, if you get a chance, go over to Tim Talks Talkies. If you're not subbing to him already, please do so now. And also, hey, throw a sub my way if you haven't already. I really appreciate you guys for watching. Take care. Have a great weekend and a great Memorial weekend coming up. Be safe, watch movies, enjoy life, and I'll see you next time.